Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. We have a brand new Batman teaser to break down, a whole bunch of cryptic stuff that's been posted in the past couple of days, and a whole bunch of news about the new Batman trilogy with Matt Reeves. We found out who some of the characters are going to be. Because of the Joker movie, the Birds of Prey movie, and the new Robert Pattinson Batman movie, it is the season of the Batman again. There's going to be so much new Batman stuff happening. This new teaser is just the beginning of that. We'll do a new Amazon giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your best theory about what this teaser is for on the video. We'll do Easter eggs for all this footage first, then I'll talk about the new Batman trilogy with Matt Reeves and the new characters that they just announced. So if you don't know what's going on, you don't know what these teasers are for, WB Games Montreal was celebrating Batman Day this past weekend by tweeting, WB Games Montreal is proud to celebrate Batman's 80th anniversary with the rest of the world during Batman Day, Batman 80. There's a Batman Day that DC and Warner Brothers celebrate every year, but this past year was the 80th anniversary of the very first appearance of Batman in Detective Comics. So it was a pretty big deal. This tweet from WB Games Montreal was the first time that the account had tweeted since 2015 though. So people were like, wait a minute, why is WB Montreal doing this? Are they doing to celebrate Batman Day? What they did within this tweet, though, is what people were really talking about, because within this 30-second video, they interspersed frames with these special symbols, so I'll play the video here. This was this past Saturday. This morning as I'm posting this video, they posted a brand new teaser which highlights those symbols much more specifically, much more prominently, with the caption that reads, Capture the Night, as in the Dark Knight / Capture la Nuit, which is Capture the Night in French. French is one of the main languages of Montreal, Quebec, so you could interpret them, including this French translation, as being something like that. Or you could look at it as another Easter egg for these symbols, because one of the symbols is actually a French Batman symbol. Decoding the special symbols from the first teaser and then the second teaser video, the first one actually represents Ra's al Ghul, the demon's head symbol. The second one is the French one. It's the Order of Saint Dumas symbol, which is where Azrael comes from. They're a French order, so that's probably why they included this French phrasing in this tweet here. And then the final symbol is the symbol of the Court of Owls. Scott Snyder also tweeted this, Beware the Court of Owls, so that seems pretty obvious that the Court of Owls is going to be one of the main villains. So all three of these concepts and these characters appear at various points in the Arkham games series, but the whole idea is that the PlayStation State of Play is this week, so it sounds like WB Games Montreal is teasing that they're going to release a new Batman game in the next couple of years. There's no actual release date, but typically they try to build on the success of Batman franchises, and the original game Arkham Asylum was published after the Dark Knight trilogy started to blow up with Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale. We have a brand new Batman franchise coming with Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson, so it makes sense that they would want to capitalize on that again, but they were also probably waiting for the next generation of consoles to roll around, which is why the game probably won't be released till late next year or maybe even the year after that, depending on how far along they are. But what this is implying is that the main villains of this new game, these three symbols, would be Ra's al Ghul being the first big boss, Azrael the Avenging Angel would probably be the second, or the other people from the Order of Saint Dumas, and then the third, the final big boss, being Lincoln March in the Court of Owls. Most people are theorizing that the timeline of this game will fit somewhere after the events of Arkham Asylum, because there is a post-credit scene that I'll play in a second from that, and they won't overlap too much with Rocksteady's Arkham games. So if you're not sure what's going on here, WB Games Montreal only did one of the Arkham games, Arkham Origins, which is sort of an add-on prequel to the Arkham series. The main Batman Arkham games came from Rocksteady, completely different studio, who is also working on a separate game that they keep teasing, but a lot of people think that's going to be a Superman game or a Justice League game, some sort of team-based game. If you haven't played the Arkham games, then the reason why this probably isn't taking place forward in the timeline after the events of Arkham Knight, because that's the most recent game that's been published, is because the end of that game was meant to serve as a sort of bookend for the entire series, where he fakes his death, just like he faked his death at the end of the Dark Knight trilogy. Remember, the games sort of flow a little bit from the movies, so whatever this new game will probably feed a little bit from the long Halloween story that they're doing with the Robert Pattinson Batman trilogy. But the end of Arkham Knight is supposed to be the end of the pre-existing Batman mythos and the beginning of a new quote-unquote Batman, because this scene here is him looking like he's using fear toxin, but the world thinks that he's dead. So the myth lives on, but the man, Bruce Wayne Batman, was supposed to die or believed to be dead at the end of that game. So just to be clear, this is WB Games Montreal who's doing all this teasing about a brand new game coming out. It's more likely that their game would follow their last big game, Arkham Origins. So this will fit somewhere between the end of Arkham Origins and the beginning of Arkham Asylum in the timeline. If you don't remember the story of Arkham Origins, you don't actually see Batman becoming Batman for the first time during that, but it is kind of a Batman Year One situation where Arkham Asylum is closed at the beginning of the game. They propose reopening it by the end of the game after he captures the Joker. The game is mostly him running into his big rogues gallery of main villains for the very first time. So you fight Killer Croc, Deathstroke, Firefly, Copperhead, Deadshot, Electrocutioner, Lady Shiva, and then Bane for the very first time during this game. Batman doesn't kill people, so most of those villains show up later in the timeline during the events of Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and then Arkham Knight. At the very end of Arkham Origins, there's a post-credit scene teasing a whole bunch of stuff coming up, but it's almost been 7 years since they published the game. That's how long we've had to wait to find out what comes next after that post-credit scene.
Good one, Bats! This is going to be fun!
Figured you'd be by sooner or later. And what happens if I don't sign?
You rot in here, or you work for me.
They talk about reopening Arkham Asylum, and then you see Amanda Waller recruiting Deathstroke into the Suicide Squad. Later throughout the Arkham series in the timeline, Deathstroke pops up, you fight him a bunch. So the whole point of this post-credit scene and those Court of Owls Easter eggs was just letting you know that they would be the next big threat. This was coming up, we would get this next part of the story, but that was published back in 2013. It's been forever since that happened. They probably intended on publishing something sooner, but because of all the turmoil going on behind the scenes at WB and DC, the big regime changes, all the reorganizing of the way they make Batman movies, the new creative team that's come on, they probably wanted to wait a little bit till the dust cleared from that, and plus we're getting a new generation of consoles in the next year. At a certain point, they probably just decided that it was better from a financial perspective to bank on the new generation of consoles, the PS5, and the new version of the Xbox that's coming up next year. Typically, when Rocksteady announced their games, they would announce it a year before release, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see this game sometime during the holiday shopping season next year. The only big group of villains within the Arkham series that we haven't seen a ton from in the past is the Court of Owls. So everybody post your theories about these teasers in the comments below. Of course, I'll do giveaways for the game when it eventually gets here. The really big news just this past day, literally while I was making this video, is that they announced Jeffrey Wright, who's going to be the Watcher for Marvel during their What If series. He's from Westworld. You may know him from some other things, is going to be the new Commissioner Gordon inside Matt Reeves' Batman trilogy with Robert Pattinson. Moments ago, while I was still working on this video, they also announced that Jonah Hill was going to be one of the new villains. I think pretty clear he's probably going to wind up being Penguin. He could also be the Riddler, but I really think that Penguin is a better fit for him. There'll be a whole bunch more Batman stuff happening in the next couple of weeks and the rest of this year. We have the Joker movie coming up. I'll be posting a bunch of videos for that. Then we'll find out who the rest of the cast is for Matt Reeves' Batman films. We'll find out who our new Catwoman is, our new official Riddler, and then the rest of the characters. I've already done a couple videos about the teasers they've dropped for that and the story that they've revealed. You can click here for all those Batman teasers and click here for that brand new Avengers Infinity Saga trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.